Good evening, good morning, folks. How y'all doing? Got the dozer here and skid steers over there. I got the root rake on the trailer. Got the 313 warmed up and ready to go. Some of y'all will remember this job. Cleared this field back in February, I think, or April sometime. I can't remember. It's back just when winter was starting to break. But there's that old house trailer. Right over there is the neighbor's power I took out with a big pine tree. I think that video is titled Bash Brothers, or one of them's titled Took Out the Neighbor's Power, something like that. Anyway, this is this field. I can see how much it has grown up since a few months ago, which is good because he's wanting to keep it cut and eventually start cutting hay off of it. But I'd probably cut it. I probably wouldn't this year because it's still got a lot of trash in it. So anyway, but he needs to have it cut again, that's for sure. I can't believe it's grown up this much, especially considering what it looked like whenever I left here. But I've got to do something with this trailer, which I'm dreading because probably gonna catch a lot of flack over it, but the guy wants it just buried. I'm not hauling it off. Can't find nobody to really haul it off. He can't find anybody to really take it apart and scrap it. I ain't messing with it because I don't know enough about it. But apparently it is still full of junk. What I'm probably going to do is separate the tin off of it and separate the metal out of it the best I can. And the frame, I told him I can't do nothing with the frame. I'm not digging a hole that big to bury a frame. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. And I know some people's probably not going to like it that I'm going to bury it, but what do y'all think they do in a landfill? They bury it. Around here they do anyway, so it's the same thing. But anyway, what I'm going to try to do, just for entertainment purposes, I'm going to hook a chain to this tongue and I'm going to see if that bulldozer will drag this thing. I really want to try to drag it to the back side because that's where he wants it buried. These bigger trees, I don't know what he's wanting to do with them just yet. There's a ton of junk in here, and anyway, I really didn't want to mess with it, but the guy can't find anybody, and I just told him I gave him a price on burying it, so there we go. Anyway, and if I had time and if I knew it was worth hauling it to the scrap yard, I would haul it to the scrap yard. But then again, I don't know. I've got so much work lined up, and people are waiting. I don't have time to be learning anything new right now, if that makes sense. So enough of me talking. What I'm going to do to start with is he wants a lane cleared out through the woods there and then up his property line, which isn't very far in there, so he can drive all around the field here, which he owns like 11 acres right here. So this is just the tip of the iceberg right here, but he wants a lane cut in there and up, so that's not going to be really a big deal. To get in this machine because it is already miserable outside. It is so hot and humid. It's supposed to be like 104 or 5 days, something like that. It's just stupid. But I'm gonna start right here, making my way on in, and I told him I clear it and just pile it up. I don't have time to burn it. Really depends on what else he wants done right in here. So let's get the clear in here. All right. All the leaves and stuff put out, you can see all the way through to the other side where I'm clearing to. Makes it a lot harder to kind of know where you're at. think it's going to be fun to destroy that trailer. It's just doing away with it. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. Well, not really in the middle of nowhere. I'm not close to any landfill or anything as far as being logistically economical. Does that sound right? Even the scrap metal place is probably 20 miles from here at least. I'm gonna set this stuff right here, and then I'll use the bulldozer to probably push it up in a pile somewhere. Well, there's a bunch of garbage right here. This whole place just needs to be bulldozed over. It's got so much garbage and junk everywhere. I just don't like messing with garbage, junk. I can already tell this stuff isn't wanting to pull out of the ground. It's just wanting to snap off at the ground, which isn't good. We should come on out of the ground. Stuff and shove it up into that stuff. There's an old pond right in there. I may call and ask him if he owns that. It's not a pond, it's a really deep mud hole. It used to be an old cattle pond. If he owns that, I may just shove all this stuff over in it, because they was wanting it. The neighbor right here wanted it filled up one time, that way his grandson don't get over there in it. Probably just be more of a mess later on. That beeping's letting me know that the bucket's too close to the cab. It won't hit the cab. It's got limits set in it that it won't let it hit the cab, but it lets you know when you're too close. E-fence is what they call it, which is actually, you know, pretty handy because you can smash the cab with this thing, and people have done it, and that's why they got it on there. Get on up in here and film some more, because I'm pretty sure that glare is pretty bad on the window. So this is probably about the biggest tree I'm gonna have to take down. There's a line of them right here that there ain't no way to get around them without going through them. anyway, it is a pain to deal with when it's wet, and it doesn't turn trees loose when it's dry. Come on. Something in here and just teeter-tottering. It's really getting on my damn nerves. These little trees are not coming out of the ground. This is supposed to be quick and easy, and it ain't being at all. Thick in there, I can't really even see the fence line I gotta clear up to. It's amazing what this place looked like just a couple months ago. Had no problem seeing everything around, and I get kind of tickled when people call me and they ask me like, well, how much you charge to clear an acre of land? Well, it could be $1,000, it could be $5,000. I mean, you don't know. Looking at it during the winter time and coming back and doing it during the summer either, because it completely changes. I've got to get off this hump or mound or whatever I'm sitting on. Guess I'm sitting in that stump hole and it's just mushy. Too far because I can see the dog kennels right in there. I may have to get out and walk. I think it's just right there. I think I'm nearly there actually. Anyway, what I'll do is when I get this cut in here, well, it's actually so thick I'll just wind up ripping all of it out of the ground anyway. I was thinking I could get the bigger stuff out of the way and then bush hog the rest of it, but there ain't gonna be nothing left in here to bush hog. What I'm gonna try to do is take this stuff and shove it up in this corner over here. Maybe take down, well, a couple of those bigger trees right there, give me room to kind of drag this stuff and shove it back in that little corner right there. But that was the deal. I told him I would come back, and there was a misunderstanding of how much I was going to clear. So I said, well, you know what, I tell you what, I'll come back and cut you a lane in there as long as I don't have to burn it. He said that'll work. Kind of one of those deals. But anyway, let me get this finished cutting in there, and then we'll go strap a chain to that trailer house and see if we can't pull that thing. All right, I'm gonna go hook the bush hog up. Go back there and make me around. I got me a lane cleared all the way around. I don't know how this happens. Just limbs hanging off everything. Yeah, let me get that hooked up and go back there and make me around, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll hook a chain to that and probably go nowhere with it. All right, well, here's the progress I made on this part. More than big enough to drive a vehicle around through here, and tractor, whatever, keep it bush hogged, mowed down. Everything is ripped out of the ground and should be very easy to maintain. It's way wider than what I'm sure he wanted, or way wider than to just drive a tractor or a vehicle around through here, so should be happy with that. And I think what he was really wanting to do is take all this other stuff down, which I would recommend, but there's a lot of junk in there, and all the bigger trees was in here. The field didn't have really any bigger trees except that one really big pine, and then the bigger pines around the house. But like here is where the work really is, so we'll see about that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go grab a chain. I really didn't want to hook a chain to this. I need to get me a big shackle to put on here. I was going to use my big 1/2 inch chain. I think it's 1/2 inch, 1/2 or 3/4. I don't remember. But that may not even be big enough to wrap that around in there. So we'll see. I'll go grab a chain, wrap it around that, and tie it to the tongue of the trailer, and let's just see what happens. Alright, I got my chain. Good gosh. I got my chain here, hooked to my Dozer. Wrap around that. I'm gonna tie this around this tongue somehow. Probably gonna wind up jerking this off. Actually, looks like it's already broke there. So let me get this figured out, and then we'll see if it's gonna pull it or not. Alright, so I knew that wasn't going to work. There's no telling. Like a hot water heater's done fell through the floor there. Water should be cut off to it. If it ain't, I'll figure it out. Yeah, that thing's probably got dirt settled all around it on the frame and everything else, and that I didn't want my chain to come flying off there and slap the back of the Dozer. It ain't worth all that. So I'm gonna jump in that thing and start picking it apart. I guess I can just make me some piles and take and push it around through there. I'm kind of gonna wait about digging the hole, because I'm gonna be going out of town this evening, and sure enough, y'all know if I dig a hole, it's gonna rain, and I don't want it to fill up with water. So I really don't know what to do now. Kind of just don't even want to pick it apart. I'll figure it out.